Oh, hello, my friends. Today we're doing a different kind of video. I'm coming to you live outside. I'm not used to doing this, so forgive me if I'm a little stiff, but next to me you'll see the most recent piece that I completed. This one went a lot faster than the last one. I'd say like a week, where the last one was like, I don't know, all summer basically. That's at least what it felt like. This is pretty sweet. Long paintbrush with the mic on the end. But yeah, let me talk. As usual, I don't really have anything planned, but let me talk about this piece a little bit. I just finished it. Luckily, right as I was finishing it, I got in a shipment from Blick, and it had a bunch more neutral colors, like raw sienna, burnt sienna, or no, it was burnt umber, and yellow Naples hue. So I was really excited to be able to use those in this piece. I'm trying to push towards more of a sort of a neutral color palette, not necessarily like removing all color from it, but I found that like one of my biggest things is I rely on the relationship of colors. And so how much can I limit that before my process starts to break down? And then how can I fix that? I think is an interesting thing. Other than that, though, my week's been pretty good. No major life events happened this week, thank God. But there's a cactus on the ground up there that I keep thinking about. I've never seen a cactus out here, and so seeing that, I'm like, well, I wonder what that is. Man, it feels weird recording outside. It's just like it's a level I think of because I usually record in the garage with the doors closed, because I think there's like an insecurity about recording these videos where other people can hear it. But at the same time, I think this is the most visually interesting shot that I can possibly get, and so I think the best thing to do is just to get over that. And so that's why I'm just kind of coming to you from live in front of the painting. I literally just finished this before I came out here. You can see, like, right here, this paint, I think it's raw sienna, still is wet. It was just basically muting the eye a little bit more. You can tell from all of the video leading up to here that this came together, like, honestly much more seamlessly than I thought. And that black outline that came through in the last video that you can see here around the mouth, up here around here, that kind of really worked as creating sort of like a double figure effect, at least in my mind. The problem with a lot of this work is that you have to be in person to see it, because a big part of it is like the way that the different layers kind of stack and build on each other. It's sort of a 3D type thing, but I think over a screen you can get somewhat of a gist. I try to also like include B-roll of the kind of the textures occasionally, just so you can see what I'm talking about a little bit better. But again, unless you can like feel it and really see it up close, it's hard to say for sure. Yeah, this is a format that I've never done before, because I didn't consciously choose it. I just wanted something big, and I didn't want to use 4 paintings, so I just screwed 2 paintings together, and then I used what came together. And I thought this was going to be more square than it was, but it ended up very vertical, but it still worked out for the better. I like the way that it has like a white kind of blank background here, as opposed to some of my other darker ones. I think it works better with this piece, but if you've noticed, my last 4 specifically have been these figures that I've been working on, but just more refined and then put over like a blank color. And that's so I can sort of create a series that will act as a like a dictionary for the language that I'm working on. I don't like speaking in such vague terms, but I don't really know how else to put it. This is an interesting way to record a video. Now that I'm sort of getting into it, it's actually not that uncomfortable. One thing that in this piece that I found the line work helps with a lot is like building sort of a visual logic that's unique to the piece. And it's hard, man, as always, it's hard to sort of put these things into words because they're visual concepts, but the line work specifically, what I'm trying, I don't, even putting words on it feels like I'm degrading it. So I don't really want to necessarily, how do I say this? The line work simply helps create a new, it's like, you ever watch Family Guy? There's a lot of different shows with this format too, so the Family Guy is just the first one that comes to mind to me. But in Family Guy, in every episode, you've got the main plot line, like Peter's going off and doing something, and then you've got the secondary plot line where like Meg and Peter and Chris are off doing something. And I think that for me at least, the line work tends to help serve as that secondary plot, if that makes any sense. Oh, dude, I had a weird experience this week. I had been dealing with some weird depression that kind of came out of nowhere. I was like, I haven't felt it in, since like my early 20s, really. And then out of nowhere, it just kind of just hit me for like a couple of days. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. I couldn't shake it. And then one day, I pick up some beer, and I have 2 16-ounce IPAs. And it shook me out of it. I don't know how that works. I don't think any doctor would recommend that to you. I wouldn't recommend that to you. But like, I had those. I had a nice loose night. I made a bunch of good progress on my painting, and then I slept like trash. And then I woke up the next day at 5:30 in the morning and started my day then. And it was excellent. I don't know. Something about it just broke the pattern. Again, would not recommend, but that is what happened. I discovered a new favorite hobby, which is kind of what partially inspired this video, and that's basically just sitting in this chair and hanging out at random spots. Grab a beer, throw it in here, sit in the chair, go to a random spot on the property, listen to some radio stories, some Johnny Dollar. It's nice. It's also very like shareable, meaning like I can watch my son and, have my wife with me if I want. So it's not as much of a solitary activity as my usual ones. I'm gonna check the camera real quick. just for exposure. Alright. Everything was good except for as the sun sets, the temperature of the light cools down, so that's been adjusted. So if you see a difference in picture, that's the difference in picture. Yeah, I don't know. I've just been doing a lot of thinking about Picasso lately, I guess. And as always, Basquiat has gotta be my favorite artist, but there's just a bunch of lessons that I have to learn from Picasso's work that go undigested as of yet, and I am still working on them. And so that's kind of what I've been chewing on mentally. It's kind of hard to... It's not like a crazy amount, man, going on this week. It's actually been somewhat chill. Like last week was hell. You know, I had another one of those super intense week last week, and then it's really calmed down more or less this week. I think I have a stress score on my watch, and it measures like apparently the body score or the body stress that you have. I don't know how it does it, but I find that if I go above 50, I risk running into issues. But if I stay below 50, I am totally fine. So I can check my watch to see where I'm at and see where I'm trending, and that helps. But really what helps the most is I've implemented a new protocol of just basically laying down or purposefully chilling whenever I'm not painting or doing anything else, and that helps to lower the baseline, and so you can still do pretty intense things, but the baseline outside of that is much lower. Another huge factor in that is I stopped using my phone. I just shut it off, put it in a drawer, and I haven't touched it in, I don't know, 2 weeks now, something like that. Well, I can't say that I haven't touched it. I do occasionally turn it on, and I have the intent on occasionally posting stories and things like that to my Instagram to keep that alive. I struggle, man, with the technology, because I think that downtime is so important. And like when you have your phone, it just, not only are you losing time where you could think about ideas, but you're also like, you're compressing your own time. Like the same amount of time feels like less time. And we're only here for so long, man. And I know that's kind of getting out there and zooming out maybe a little too far, but I don't know, man. I often think about the fact that we don't really know how much longer we're going to be here, and so being able to sort of remove those time compressors, for me, it helps feel like a way to control that a little bit. But alas, even saying that feels a little bit funny, because obviously you can't have any control over anything, really. But also, I just said the word alas in a conversation. I apologize. Let's take one last look at this piece together. Is there anything that we need to discuss that I don't think will be visible upon viewing? I'm trying to get better at not really describing the piece as much, because I feel like when I do, it just never does it justice. I can describe feelings, and I can describe weeks, and I can sit here and talk to you guys, but I feel like just trying to describe a visual piece of art does not necessarily do it justice. I hope you like the piece. I hope you like the process of getting here. Yeah, I'll see you next week. Peace.